Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Welcome. Listen, I say welcome with this much enthusiasm because we love you. And I listen, we hit you with it. We went vertical. Look at my dude Extenzyy right there. We back with building tactics. Episode number 4 with my dude Extenzyy in the Steampunk series. Now, last episode we left off with leaving you with this amazing vertical style. Look at that. We went vertical on you guys. You guys were like, yo, what y'all gonna do next? And we hit you with it. We hit you with the top to bottom. We hit you. Listen, if you're a graffiti artist out there, you understand what a top to bottom is. You know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Freights, 1982, Dondi, rest in peace. You my dude. I love you. That's a big shout out to the graffiti community. If you guys are watching, if you ain't, it's all good. You guys need to get in the know if you ain't. Understand where I'm coming from. Mr. Chunk is on the MIC. Here we go. Let's get back into what the whole reason we are here. We are showing you how to do steampunk from Extenzyy. Yes, yes, y'all. Yes, yes, y'all. Extenzyy is in the house. Now, Extenzyy, we hit him with vertical, dude. I mean that alone was mind blowing, dude. Mind blowing on them, dude. They weren't ready, but they had to be, cause dude, we moving on. This episode 4 now. Before we know it, dude, they're gonna be in the dust. Episode 67, and they're gonna be like, I got lost somewhere. What do I do? And they're gonna have to go back into the archive. So, what are we at, dude? What are we hitting them with now? This is episode 4. Let's hit them with it.
So now, like we did with this first house, I mentioned in the last episode how it's quite consistent with the way that you build these things. So we started off by making the base down here, which is the exact same thing that we did up here. So now, just like the bottom, we balance everything out. We're going to do it to the top. It gets a little bit more trickier as you go up, because you have to think about what you put below it. So, for example, we might not be able to put like a large house extrusion in the front, because if you look down, we already have a house extrusion with a windmill right there. It wouldn't really be practical. So we're going to go back over the idea of balancing, and then once we do and we figure out what we're going to put where, we're going to slowly start to develop our next house stacked up on top of the original one that we have right here.
So it's not just, okay, let's just balance, or let's just go vertical and then just start adding on. You got to make sure that balance is very important, to my understanding, because
exactly,
if you don't pay attention to what you're doing, you're gonna tip. You're gonna have a mess, bro. You're gonna have to call. FEMA's gonna have to come in here and help you out. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't gonna have a home. They're gonna have to bring in that little mobile joint. You're gonna have to stay there with the wife and the kids, do with some Lay's potato chips, bologna sandwiches for a few weeks while your new house is being built, because you decided not to pay attention to the balancing part of it, and your stuff tipped over. You know what I'm saying? Just pay attention from the get-go. FEMA ain't got to come in here. You're not going to be blaming anybody but yourself. Come on, man. Get with us. We episode 4, baby. Look, I want to reiterate, balance is key. And the reason I'm reiterating that is a few reasons. If you don't pay attention to what you did down here with the house extrusions down here, and you go up top, again, you're going vertical, you could take this as high as you want. But in this aspect, if you come up here and just start putting stuff up here, like I said, you're gonna cause a problem for yourself. So you guys pay attention to the balancing part. Again, it's not just balancing at the bottom, at the base, the main part of the structure. Balancing seems like it has to be key all the way up. Extend, you can correct me if I'm wrong, right? They can't just put stuff, right? They're gonna have to pay attention closely, right?
Yep. So when you're going about doing this style, you have to think about what you need to put where, like you said. Does it counterbalance something on the bottom? Does it counterbalance something on the side and the back? Just simple stuff like that. Once you get the hang of it, it's a lot more easier. But developing that skill is a little bit tough at first because you gotta make the judgment call on where you need to put stuff according to what you have on the opposite side, on the top and on the bottom. Because after this, we're gonna take it up one more level, and then that's when it gets really hard because you gotta balance the stuff all the way at the bottom, then the second level, and then you gotta think about all the way up top. So you gotta keep that all in mind when you're doing it. You need to know when to make that call and when to not make that call.
And they can't just like. Well, here's the question that I have, and these guys out there, because we're live, you guys, we're on the YouTube network at the Castle Crafter Studios right here, on the team channel right now, and we're bringing it to you so you guys can ask questions and leave us comments and stuff like that. Make sure you guys do so. Now check this out. These episodes are going to be going up on the main channel now. That's where you're watching this at. Make sure you guys leave us comments there as well. Also, pay attention to the second channel because there's going to be love still spread throughout there. But we're trying to get this schedule down so you guys we can be consistent with you. We want you to stay on with us during these series, the Building Tactics series. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you guys stay on it. But let me get to the question because some viewers out there may have some dissimilar question. Now, as we're thinking about balancing and we're getting ready to add another house extrusion up top here, does it matter how far they come out with the extrusion? Is that important, or is it okay if they go super long with the house extrusion, or can you explain that in depth? That way, it answers that question for the viewers if they have one like that.
If it makes sense to make it longer, then you can go for it. Normally, you want to try to keep all the house extrusions the same exact length. So this one down here is the same length as this one up here.
Okay.
This one's got the illusion that it's longer because it has the deck attached to it.
Okay.
But
Okay.
that's not the case. You want to keep it consistent when you're doing stuff like that.
Well,
Once you fly through.
let me interrupt you real quick because you made a good point.
Okay.
You pointed out that this house extrusion here in the front is similar to the one right here on the side, and the one on the side gives the illusion that it's longer because the deck that you added to it. But in all actuality, if you think about it, they balance out because the one in the front has the windmill on it, right? Like I mean,
exactly.
that's important. Again, it's all part of the balancing, you guys. Pay attention to what you guys are doing. Listen, when we tell you if you're not building sexy, stop building. Listen, I know I said that and some people got upset at me. Again, I'm not going to apologize for that because the whole point of building is so it looks good. Unless you're trying to go for a style that's messy. But at the same time, if you're doing a messy style, you're doing it to make it look good. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole point. I mean, at the end of the day, you want it to look good. You want it to be sexy, and that's what I mean by this. You guys put all the hard work and effort into creating these amazing structures, and you want people to see them, but there's just sometimes there's something about them that's not. It's just not sexy. Come on, people, listen. We've been through this. I love sexy. Lingerie, lights are dim, chocolate-covered cherries on the pillow, smells all good in it. You know what I'm saying? Got the little date movie, you know what I'm saying? The little chick flick you're going to watch with your significant other. That's the sexiness, bro. That whole atmosphere, that whole moment knowing that you're about to enjoy a wonderful evening and you're going to be sexy doing it. Ooh, come on. Jesus. Lord help me. Come on with it. Get sexy. That's what I'm talking about. Extenzyy, let's hit him with it, dude. Let's hit him. What do we... Where do we begin? Where do we begin?
So, The first episode, we built that first base house, which is exactly what this is. But just like the previous episodes, we're gonna go through and we're gonna trick it out. We're gonna add in house extrusions, lanterns, windmills.
Ooh.
It'll be a bit shorter of an episode because we did this before, so you guys already know what the drill is.
Ooh.
But we're just gonna throw all this stuff on at one time and see what we got.
We're about to do it, and we're gonna do it now.